Yes, hello tradies, season 3, episode 30. It is getting towards the business end of the year. We are here for the great people at St Andrews Beach Brewery, the new brewery at Melbourne Park, the only place to be before a game at the G this season. I was there on Saturday. I did not see Mitch, but it was hard to see because there were so many people. And to welcome you in, Mitchell, we are not far away from another live show at the brewery.
When is that, Sam?
Looking down at my notes, October 16, which is the Thursday, which is the day after trade period finishes. So that will be the Tradies Awards, which we usually just do at a pub by ourselves, but now we're going to have all of our friends.
Looking forward to that.
So $10 includes a pot of beer on arrival, so it's essentially free. We've got prizes and merch available again. You can grab the tickets on the Clubby Sports website or in the show notes.
The last live show was anything to go by. Plenty of giveaways too, so it's well worth your time rocking up.
Giveaways. Now, we're starting the pod half an hour late today, which was requested by you because you wanted to go to the after party at the Brownlow.
I did.
So please tell me you've come back with a story.
I do have a couple of stories.
Oh, good.
Not for this show, maybe for the news tonight.
Oh, no, you can't be doing that.
Oh, they're not trade related, so.
Oh, okay. What, you picked up a couple of news stories from the after party?
I actually did.
Oh, okay. Oh, now I feel bad for going home.
Nah, and the voice is more over a lack of sleep rather than hitting the beers last night.
I see.
I was on, actually had a couple of zeros last night.
Well, we didn't see each other all night because you were in the middle of the room and I may as well have been in the toilets.
We're going there now. So I had so many people come up. They're saying, you are not going to believe where Sam is sitting. And then I had to see it with my own 4 eyes. You were sitting on the back corner with your head towards the wall.
I just stare at Tom Morris and Josh Gablich all night. Or at least it was Josh.
Could have sat home and watched the coverage on 7.
And been bored out of my brains.
No, it's a great coverage.
Oh, no, the coverage is great. I mean, the only thing that could be more boring than sitting on the couch and watching the Brownlow is being there.
So you're going to hand your invite in next year?
No, I'd like to keep going. I have to work. I had to write a 1,000-word column.
About the winner?
No, just about me being there. You haven't read it, clearly.
No.
Thank you.
What was your biggest takeaway?
Complaining
about your seat?
Basically, that's the first 200 words. I had to stare at Tom Morris all night. It's in the column. A couple of movie references in there.
Are we happy with the winner?
Yeah, he had a great year. I thought Anderson would. I thought it'd be flipped. I thought Anderson would poll more.
Yeah,
some strange voting by the umps, but that's what you always get in the Brownlow because ultimately they're the ones that are there on the day with courtside view.
It does add to the mystique of the Brownlow.
It does.
We get to a little bit of left field voting that no one ever predicts, but everyone's talking about it, so we may as well. The Naz 3 voter was the biggest shock of the night. Not only did Naz not get the 3, the guy that got the 3 in a losing team, Jack Viney.
He's the guy that didn't man up.
He's the one that didn't go to the back half of the square.
Come on, Jack.
And if he had have done his job right that day, Naz wouldn't have taken the mark. It's as simple as that. I don't think Jack would mind. Well,
have you met Jack? I wouldn't run into him in the next couple of weeks.
I wouldn't want to, Sydney Stack clean him up one day at the G. I wouldn't want to run into him in the middle of the footy field, but he's won a premiership. He'll be right.
So I just wanted to go through the leaderboard of the Brownlow quickly.
Because this is a big part of your A-graders list from memory. It makes up a key part of, even though you didn't respect Rowell at the start of the year, I was big on him being an A-grader. Still not up there.
Not guaranteed to be up there starting next year either. So
he was top 5 last year.
So Rowell wins it. He's been talked about as moving clubs. And ultimately said last night in his speech that he had a good look around, did his due diligence, to use his own words.
Met with at least 3, maybe 4 clubs in the off-season.
Baz Lenker, obviously second club. Tough watch for the Bulldogs. Dawson finished 3rd, second club.
I want to get to some seating arrangements and what I saw from the floor. Tough night for the Bulldogs to be sitting next to the Bailey Smith table. I don't know if the AFL did that on purpose.
That's rough.
But the Bont and the boys were about 4 metres from Bailey Smith and the Cats.
So Dawson A-grader. Brayshaw, Victorian, playing obviously for Freo, been talked about before, was trying to come home. He finished 4th, he's an A-grader. Anderson A-grader. There's never really been stories about him coming home.
Noah? No, he's been pretty loyal right through, yeah.
Bont, obviously A-grader. Sarong, A grader.
Never really stories about him in a serious matter either.
No. Gorn, A grader. Naz, we got him up there.
Finally.
Butters, A grader. Still on the trade table. Finn Callahan, obviously was thrown 1.6 million by the Saints a year. Is he an A grade? I don't think so.
Not yet.
No.
I think he's an A grade watch heading.
So you think Rao will be up there next year?
Well, if he's not, then what are we doing here?
And Baslenka?
Yeah.
You think he's an A grader?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, where was your man Holmes?
He wouldn't have been far from that top.
Didn't see
10 or
heaps
so.
of him. Isaac Heaney saw a lot of pitches, not a lot of votes. See him.
Oh, so now you're back into the umpires.
I go with the umpires when I agree with them. Who else didn't poll? Yes. Let's get to your man, Zach Merrett.
My man.
Well, you were working the red carpet beforehand.
Yep.
You spoke to him. It seems like half the media spoke to him. So there was clearly a concerted ploy by the Merrett camp.
He came in prepared.
I see.
I did try and speak to him the day before
Right.
at an event in Moonee Ponds, and he chose not to speak.
What was the event in Moonee Ponds?
He was there on behalf of Silent Sight, which was a charity group for kids with vision.
Okay.
Like a vision.
So just to be clear, you've gone to a charity event to try to interview Zach about his future.
He was promoted.
That's rough.
What am I doing? Of course I'm going to go.
What did Zach say?
He said, I'm not going to do it today.
That's fair.
Maybe tomorrow.
Should we take a listen to what he said on set?
Don't you have to rock up to those things?
I was just baiting you, and it worked.
Can't just be sitting on my couch every Sunday like some.
Oh, if only Sundays were that easy. Let's take a listen to Zach with our own Mitchell.
What, mate, about the potential trade? Is your preference to play for Hawthorn next year?
I haven't worked through preference yet. There's a lot of stuff to go through the next few weeks. There's definitely has some conversations, some factors at play, but a fair bit of uncertainty all round, and things will be made clear in the coming weeks.
Has Essendon given you an indication that they would be open to trading you?
I've had great dialogue with the club. They've been amazing, to be honest. Brad Craig and Andrew Walsh been very supportive. A lot of dialogue between the three of us, or four of us, and those decisions haven't been clearer yet, so we'll see how we go.
So you're expecting you will go to them and ask for a trade, or are you still working through that?
No, still working through that. There's been no clear decision made, so as I said, I'll keep working through that. Things will get clearer in the coming weeks, and we'll go from there.
By the way, where were you on the red carpet? I thought you might have come out to interview Zach.
There's a back way. Don't go down the red carpet.
No, you could have come out and interviewed Zach.
Tom was interviewing Zach for 9.
You work for The Age.
Yeah, someone else was doing that.
Who did that?
Not sure. I'm a big Zach guy. Really big fan. That didn't help last night. What do we know? What do we know more about now that we didn't know? Can someone answer me that?
That's a good question.
I'll answer my own question. The answer is nothing.
I know that he's going the best and fairest after speaking to him.
Okay.
Wasn't in that, but
So that was just a whole bunch of noise without saying anything.
But from Zach's point of view, like, what else is he like? We all want the yes. I'm going to request a trade, but he's ticked it now, and he can say I've spoken. He can tick that box and say I've spoken now.
But he hasn't said anything, Mitch.
That's the thing that no one ever does. Like, what were we expecting him to say?
Hang on. If you're going to speak to all the media, you have to say something. Otherwise, you just say I haven't got any updates for you now.
That's what you said, basically.
So I'm going to speak for 40 seconds. So feed the chooks, 7 and 9 and Fox and all the papers run it, but he actually says nothing. That's not the way.
Or he dodges cameras for another day.
Or just come up and say, look, I know you all want to ask about my future. I don't have anything to say right now.
Well, it was a pretty discreet, like pretty open and like
open and on. What did he say?
So when I say open and honest, like he was pretty respectful there. Like,
what did he say?
Zero.
Exactly. So if I'm an Essendon fan, I'm just pulling my hair out because I know nothing more.
Yeah, but clearly it's delicate. Like he's trying to get a trade to Hawthorn. We all know that.
So just say it.
But what if he has to go back?
But he's blown it up behind the scenes. Might as well just blow it up in front of everyone's face.
Saying that and doing it's a different thing, I reckon.
But saying like, we're working through it. What are you working through?
The one takeaway from that for me was
we're not doing surgery.
He's spoken to Brad Craig and Andrew Walsh.
Yeah.
Andrew Walsh is the vice president and seen by many as the president in waiting.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
David Barham said that on the record, though, that he would at some point.
Yeah. But why is Zach not speaking to Dave?
Well, maybe he has. I don't know. Anyway, I got to the Brownlow last night and sat at, table 110, and everyone was
Had a great night by the sounds of it.
licking their lips about, Merrett had spoken, and I thought he'd actually said something. But turns out he hadn't.
Can we get to some other things that I witnessed on the night?
Yes.
This is separate to the after party. I think the after parties, everyone's crammed into a small area at Nobu that you sort of get forced into conversations that you don't always want. So you can't read into those.
I see.
But I think the night at the actual Palladium is different. So for those who don't understand the night, when there's an ad break for the coverage, you need to be back in you get 2 or 3 minutes to go mingle, toilet, whatever, and then you've got to be back in your seat for the start of the next segment. Zach Butters at one stage was the last person standing at the Western Bulldogs table
Hello?
talking to Liberatore over Bont's shoulder as the next segment started, and he had to run across the room to get back to his seat.
Okay, so
Before the
saying
count.
Butters to Bulldogs.
Well, I've been saying this for a while.
No, you've been saying that there's no way he'll move this year.
This year,
Yeah.
yeah, these things are often done 12, 18 months in advance.
Okay.
The other conversation I witnessed was Christian Matraka talking to the president of Hawthorn, Andy Gowers, for a lengthy period. Now, I don't know the backstory there or whatever going, but it just caught my eye.
With having a VB?
No. For those that missed it, your story about Andy Gowers, the Hawthorn president, going to Kirribilli House with a slab of VBs. And the third thing, which we all heard because he said it on the coverage, Patrick Dangerfield, he's a very smart man, alluding to going to Charlie Curnow and Ed Curnow's bathhouse today on his day off from the Cats. I think he knew what he was getting out there, Danger. He wouldn't have just thrown that out there without a little bit of knowledge that might gather a bit of steam.
So should we talk about this now? So Charlie Curnow clearly wants to go to Geelong.
Yeah. Well,
Once Geelong
Yeah.
play the grand final on Saturday, I think he's clearly going to request a trade to Geelong.
yeah. How on earth are they going to get it done?
Yeah, so
And
I just can't see it happening. I think he'll try, and I think his manager Robbie D'Orazio will try, and they've got a good history, those two, given that they got Bailey Smith to Geelong last year. But this is very different. This is a guy who's got 4 years left on his deal, who's crucial to the side that he's playing at. And I just don't see, unless they get a third party involved, which is possible, I guess. But it's like, well, we want Curnow. Okay, well, we want Holmes. No. Okay, well, we want Bailey Smith. No. Okay, well, then no deal.
Yeah. Is Sam DeConing going to want to go there, given his brother Tom just left?
I doubt it.
This is I'm just throwing out hypotheticals here, but would a Grind Myers go and say, I'm going to earn $300,000 more at Carlton than what I'm getting at Geelong?
Graham Myers and what? 2 first-round picks?
Maybe 1 first-round pick? He's a good player.
How old is he?
I'd a guess he'd be 27.
I can't. I think it's like a 1.5 out of 10 chance it gets done.
And if it doesn't, we're thinking Sydney? I think he'd be still very open to playing for Sydney. He's met with the coach.
Yeah, but Sydney won't trade Blakey. Sydney have made it clear to Carlton that they won't trade Blakey.
But you're talking about Geelong getting involved with a third party. Sydney have a better draft hand right now than Geelong.
Yeah, I don't really think Carlton want draft picks.
No,
though.
but Sydney go to another club with 2 first-rounders for an A grader or a B plus in another club, and that player ends up at Carlton.
I just don't see a world in which Carlton get properly remunerated.
So right now, Geelong have either picked 17 or 18 in this year's draft, given they're going to be
Yep.
either premier or runner-up. That pick is going to get moved by at least 2 spots, given the Oscar Allan pick
Yep.
and the Tom DeConing pick, potentially Sam Draper. Brandon Starcevich, I think, will be a trade if he does go to West Coast, so that'll be a little bit different. But that pick could end up being pick 20 before even the academy kids come in. So the Geelong assets right now are pretty slim outside of players. And if you're Carlton, you're thinking, well, if Charlie Curnow did go to Geelong, they're not going to be anywhere outside the top 4 next year. So we're not talking about a huge hand for Geelong to play with unless they get into the players conversation.
Yep.
Just one more on Merrett. Is it easier for him to go to Hawthorn now because they've not won the flag? So,
Yeah, Merrett would have been barracking for Hawthorn to lose that prelim.
yeah.
Definitely.
So like when Tom Lynch went to Richmond, it was the year they got sent packing by the Pies in the prelim.
Was it?
Pretty sure end of 2018. So he arrived for 19.
Oh, I had it in my head that he went there after they won the flag in 17. I thought they won the flag and added Lynch. But I very much could be wrong.
Mitch, you're right.
Mitch is
Right.
correct. As per usual, Mitch is correct and I'm incorrect.
Yeah. So not saying it wouldn't have been possible for Zach to go there, but could you imagine the stigma? Hawthorn wins the flag, then he arrives. It's like
Yeah.
we all know he's going there to win a flag, so it's not that different. But
Yep.
I just think it's an easier passage now that they've not won it.
What would you do if you were the Pies and you were running their list?
I can understand why they're going after Jack Buller from Sydney, who's a young key forward. They've got Charlie West waiting in the wings because Brodie Mychek is weighing up an offer. I think Collingwood's put what they feel is a reasonable offer to Brodie Mychek, but I would not be increasing that or standing in his way. Well, they can't because he's a free agent. But
He takes the extra year and the extra cash at the D's, doesn't he?
yeah. Well, if I was Collingwood, I wouldn't be going over and above for Brodie Mychek, given his age, and it allows you to maybe get a West in or play Buller next year from the Swans.
I wonder if they go into next year with Cameron and Cox again.
So Cox is still out of contract, still hasn't got a deal.
Yeah, I think he's triggered an extra
he has
year.
it.
I just don't think people are talking about it publicly. It was strange. I don't want to go back down this rabbit hole, but it did seem, given that he'd kicked 2 and been ruck for the majority of the other goals, it was strange that he was on the bench for a lot of the last quarter when the game was there to be won.
Was that a fitness thing, do you think?
I don't know. I also felt like Steele, the sub, who I thought was pretty good, sat in the bench a lot late.
Well, I'm going to go to the app and have a look at the last quarter time on ground.
Yeah. It just seemed that not sure why. Maybe it was a fitness thing with Cox. I did think he was pretty important though.
What about the one in the first 12 seconds of the game? So Cox only played 26% of the last quarter.
Yeah, it was weird. It was very strange. It was very noticeable at the ground.
I was on the boundary that day and
I thought
pick that up.
Cameron was getting sliced in the ruck as well. Late.
By McInerney and Fort. Steele played 53% of the last quarter. Frampton 71. They were the bottom 3 for the Pies.
There you go. So my eyes were correct, which is rare for me. Interesting absentee at the Brownlow last night. No Clayton Oliver.
But he may not have been invited.
Wasn't invited.
That's fair, isn't it?
Yeah. I just
Still
wonder.
up on the A-graders list, though,
Well, he was a very good player for a very long time, and he earned that
for sure.
over a period.
Hasn't had a really poor 2024 and then hasn't been invited to the Brownlow in 25.
So he's had 2 poor years.
2 years gets you on. Does 2 poor years get you off?
What? No, have you not listened to the rules? 2 years gets you on, and then you survive longer than the 2 years of
Texas up there and stuff, yeah.
you must not have watched Adelaide in the last 2 years.
Is he going to play on Tex?
You mustn't have watched Adelaide, because if you had watched Adelaide, you would see how important Walker has been.
But why has he not got a contract for next year?
Well, because he's 104. I don't know.
Can you be an A grader if you're working for Triple M full time next year?
Oh,
Is that Link doing a little bit of his own gear there?
yeah.
Well,
So what do you say about Clary? So this year was a little bit different as well for the Brownlow because the Rising Star nominees took up seats at the table. So whereas last year would have been 5 or 6 of the best players at every club for the Brownlow going, this year the table, a couple of those. So Melbourne had a couple of Rising Star nominations in
Langford.
Lindsay and Langford,
Yeah.
at least. Might have been others.
Yep.
So one of them may have taken the spot that you had set aside for Clary.
No, I thought it was clever. I thought take the longest, most arduous night of the year and let's just cram in a little bit more, make it longer. I thought that worked.
Took about 90 seconds, the Rising Star.
Well, if we added up everything that just takes about 90 seconds, we get towards minutes and hours.
I thought Andrew Dillon spoke pretty quick last night.
His pace was good early.
You reckon he dropped off?
He definitely dropped off. Well, that pace that he started at was unsustainable.
Like the Greyhound, early speed and then just, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing like fair enough if it's the 300-metre race for the greyhounds, half a lap. But if you're doing the longer 800 ones, you can't fly out of the box and expect to lead post to post.
Just the 2 nominations for Melbourne as well, so Langford and Lindsay.
Yep. Jamar Ugle-Hagan. So he had his exit meeting.
Yep.
And both parties are sort of playing this strange game of public political chicken where it's like, we're not going to say anything because you've got a contract, but we'd like you to go somewhere else. And we don't want to publicly talk about us liking you to go somewhere else because if you don't end up somewhere else, you've got a year left with us.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
We'll cut through it. The Dogs want him off the list. And they would
he
rather,
wants to be off the list.
They would rather someone else take him on than have to pay him out next year.
Yep.
We'll just cut to the chase.
Yep. Is it going to happen?
Find another club?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot less likely than it was in May, June.
So just to be clear, if that's the case, you would have the favourite to be that he is not playing AFL football next year, but has been paid something by the Dogs not to play.
Oh, I don't know if I'd have that as favourite, but it's a chance.
What would be favourite if it's not him being on a list?
Yeah, or you think it's completely over that he's not just on the Dogs list for one of the year?
No, I think that's as close.
1001?
I think that's as close to 0%
Yeah.
possibility
The relationship's too far gone out, the Dogs.
as it can be. If he ended up at, let's just say, Sydney,
Yep.
so they pick him up, he's got $1 million left on his deal. I think and we've talked about this before on this pod, there's a common misconception that Sydney have to take on the $1 million. They don't have to. They can tear up that contract.
Provided Jamar is okay with it.
Provided the player is okay with it. So if Sydney said, well, we'll give you a 2-year deal and sorry about the $1 million, you're not going to get that. We're going to give you $200,000 a year plus $5,000 a game and heavily incentivize it so that if you play more than 15 games a year, you get X. If you end up in the All-Australian squad, you get Y. If you kick more than 40 goals, you get Z. That's if he was to end up somewhere else, that's the most likely outcome. So he becomes a much more attractive proposition like Jesse Hogan was when he went to Freo and then to GWS, where you can put so many clauses in these contracts that you keep them on a tight leash on and off the field and you try to play into the talent that they have. Now, that might be a difficult thing for Jamar to get his head around. Because otherwise, if he doesn't want to do that, he and his manager, Robbie and Paul, are negotiating with the Dogs a payout clause for him to sit on his couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
Now he gets paid. And he might end up getting more than half of that $1 million to do nothing. But a year out of the game is probably tantamount to a death sentence for his footy career. So these are the things that he has to weigh up. Am I willing to strip it all back and go back to basically playing as an 18 or 19-year-old
Yep.
and try to reinvent myself?
Yep.
Or take the cash and see how life goes? I think it's a fascinating set of circumstances. And
Yeah.
I don't remember, I mean, Hogan's a good example, but he was a little bit later in his career when this happened. I don't remember a set of circumstances in which a guy with so much talent has been basically left on the chopping block, for want of a better term.
Taron Thomas is different because he had court matters
Yeah.
that he's been subsequently cleared of, by the way.
Yeah. This is no disrespect to Taron because I thought he was a very talented player. But I'm not sure you can compare the levels of,
No, just
of
talking about-
talent. Like, yeah, no, I understand people would. I get that. But like, I see Jamar as potentially top 5 player in the comp at his best. I'm not sure we would ever have spoken about Thomas like that. I mean, Thomas, I think at his best could have been All-Australian
Yep.
and was definitely a game changer.
He finished top 10 in North BNF after like 10 games one year.
Yeah, well, that's not, I mean, yeah. I could go through the last 10 years of North's top 10 best and fairest. It would not be pretty reading. Anyway. So look, I don't know, I don't presume to know the depths of the problems that Jamar has been dealing with. And again, we're coming from a perspective of love. I hope he's okay. But as a footballer and as a risk versus reward, I still think I am in the camp where he's worth the risk. If you're a strong club with a good culture and you can give yourself out clauses, I think he's worth the risk.
If you can give yourself out clauses, his talent speaks for itself. He's young enough. But the penny's got to drop at some point.
Yeah. And look, the penny drops for us all at different times. So there's no judgment here. But if Jamar can sort some stuff out, there's a road back for him. And if it ends up at a club like Sydney, who desperately need a key forward, gee, the sky's the limit for him.
I'm not shutting the door on Curnow to Sydney.
No, nor am I. But again, I just don't see who goes the other way that makes it attractive for Carlton.
It might not have to be a Sydney player. Might be 2 first rounders. You can trade 3s in advance now as well.
I just don't think Carlton
twos in
I don't think Carlton are taking picks.
I know, but
This is a bad draft.
Sydney bundle up a heap of good picks to another club.
They're getting 2 top 5 picks in the next 2 years anyway.
Carlton.
Yeah, in Dean and Walker.
So for those that missed it, the AFL Commission met yesterday and clubs have been informed that the father-son rule is changing for 2026, but not to the extent that you won't be able to match a bid. It'll just become harder. So you're only going to be able
Did
to
your head explode when this happened? Because you've been calling out for this for months, for some clarity.
For clarity, finally, thank you.
Yeah. I thought about you straight away.
But I never actually reported that it was going to change. Others have been saying that.
No, I know. You just said we just want an answer.
We need an answer, and we got it finally. 3-4 days before trade period, great. But Cody Walker will be able to join Carlton next year. That's the biggest takeaway.
And he's seen
as a top 1 or 2 pick next year. Andrew
Some
Walker's
clubs would say that he's the runaway pick one.
And some would say he's a top 5 prospect in this year's draft if eligible.
Yep.
But it's just going to become harder again to match those picks. So it sounds like we haven't got the formalities yet, but it sounds like the discount is going to be removed and you might only be able to use 2 picks rather than we've seen Brisbane over the year, for example, with Ashcroft bundle up 4 or 5.
Have you watched Walker play?
Bits and pieces. I've seen some highlights. I haven't seen him in the flesh.
I meant to talk to because Cal Toomey was on our table out the back last night.
Geez, some heavy hitters on your table.
Yeah. Pity we just couldn't see anything. I meant to talk to Cal about...
There's always 7+ on the phone.
At one point, I nearly had to download the 7+ app just to be able to see.
Just scroll over. I'm sure it's in your phone.
It's not. 9 now, though, is pretty strong. Of course I have the 7+ app. I need to watch Mitch. I meant to ask Cal, because I've never seen Cody play live. But is he like his dad, or
yeah,
is he mercurial? Is he
a little bit
mid?
From what I've seen, he's a classy half forward with midfield qualities.
Because his dad had freakish talent.
Yeah.
It was difficult for him to put it all together all at once. He was drafted as a mid, ended up playing key back, key forward. I think he kicked 50 goals in a year once.
2011.
2011, thank you. In fact, 2011, I think, Link, was the year that they belted Essendon in the first final and then went over to Perth, and Andrew Walker's ragdolled in the goal square with like 10 seconds left, no free kick. And I think Carlton lost that by less than a kick. And I think had they had won, they would have played Geelong in a prelim, who they would have beaten the previous 2 times in that season. That's just the old Carlton fan in me.
Wow, that's like you've been holding on it for
off
15
the top of my head.
years.
Yeah, ragdolled. Go back and watch the highlights. Unbelievable. Because I also saw Andrew Walker playing his debut at Optus Oval, and he nearly took the mark of the millennium right in front of me.
What's your knowledge of the Tasmania sign-on bonus purse? How big that will be?
Well, it's $1 million at the moment, but it should be.
I'm hearing it's going to be potentially double that or maybe more.
Well, yeah, it should be 5 times it. It should be 10 times it, to be honest, if they were serious about it. Are we going to do this Tassie thing now, or do we wait till the air raid siren?
Depends if it impacts lists or not. But I think there's going to be some good dollars for if and when the Tassie team arrives.
Well, it's currently at $1 million, But yeah, I think to Mitch's point, to your point, it will go north of that.
Yeah.
Because if you're serious, you need to pay Nick Dacos $1 million on top of his just to come. You need to offer that.
Yeah. And the salary cap portion for the best players at the time is going to be good as well because it's going to be paying so many kids.
Mm.
All right, let's get there. Tassie.
Well, you notice there's some slabs on the desk today.
Yeah, St Andrews Beach.
So, Matthew Richardson and I have been having some friendly banter about this. He's a proud Tasmanian. And last week there was the setback with the Planning Commission basically saying, whatever you do, don't build this thing.
Yeah. And the government are going to turn their back on their own Planning Commission.
So,
go ahead with the
Richo
stadium.
said to me something along the lines of, I will pay you a slab a month for the rest of your life if the stadium doesn't happen. And I was like, okay, hang on. I don't agree.
12 times.
I don't agree to this bet, but let's talk about it. Let's have some friendly wager because both of us worked out we have our own beer sponsors. So we have the great people at St Andrews. Richo is sponsored by Lion, who own a lot of the world's beer, including Stone and Wood. Great beer. Not as good as St Andrews, but here we are. So we negotiated over the course of a few hours. And here is the friendly wager that we have arrived at, Mitch. So if and when the stadium opens, like the day that it opens, right? The day that they cut the tape and it's all brand shining you, I will pay Richo a slab a month for the rest of his life.
You will?
Yeah.
Are you that confident the stadium's not going to happen?
No, it's just a friendly wager, okay? But the payoff is from right this second, until they turn the first sod, Richo has to pay me a slab a week.
Wow.
So as of Monday, because he said from the grand final, as of Monday, there will be a slab of beer turning up on my doorstep every week until they turn the first sod.
Is this one of those bets that are said in jest that never actually happened?
No, it will happen. And I just want to be clear about this so that this doesn't get misconstrued into a Hutchie Grange sort of thing. I want to be clear about this. I hope in my heart that the stadium happens. I want to pay Richo the bid because if the stadium happens, that means the team happens.
And you are wearing a green jumper and a cap today, so you are.
Thank you for noticing that because I did go full Tassie today. But just to keep things a bit light, I just thought while we wait for this stadium to happen, let's all enjoy it. And I will be donating some of these slabs to our listeners, right?
Okay.
Yep. It'll just be random, like, oh, that was a good just quickly. Here's a slab. And I'll be taking some slabs to the live show. Okay? Not sure how we're going to work that out, given I can't be taking rival slabs into the St Andrews Beach Brewery, but Carla and Tim will all work it out.
I'm going to do some quick maths. How old are you?
34.
What's the average age of an Australian male? 84. Let's just pluck a number.
I think it's like late 70s, but yeah.
So let's say 50.
Say 80.
Let's say 50.
50 years.
By 12.
Yep.
600.
Yep. 600 slabs.
For you to break even, you need the stadium to basically take 10 years.
Yeah, so I'm about right. Okay, so quick update on the timeline. So November is when it goes through the lower house. That'll happen, right? So tick that off. That's fine. This first week of December is when it goes through the upper house. That's when they need to get – there's 4 senators who are currently not sure about the stadium. They need to get at least 3 of them to say yes. And Jackie Lambie has come out and said, don't say yes, don't say yes. But the planning report doesn't really mean anything because the Jeremy Rockcliffe, the Premier's already said that he's going to circumvent it, go around it.
Yeah. So everyone just wasted their time with the Planning Commission report.
Well, but the Planning Commission would say we are informing the
people who are weighing it up.
That's right. We're informing the politicians, and these independents can at least turn around to the government and say, hey, I wanted to vote yes, but the Planning Commission report's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
And you haven't convinced me otherwise. And if I was to say yes to the stadium and then the stadium falls over, my constituents would be pissed off with me.
Yep.
That's the. I know this is a bit dry, but I'm just trying to, for our listeners, paint the political landscape of all of this. So if it goes through, right, let's say December, let's say they get all the independents, December, yep. Minimum, we're 12 months from that day of the first sod being turned.
Do you think?
That's my understanding.
Okay. So you're telling me there's going to be at least 3 or 4 years the Devils in the AFL competition if they come in 2028 where they're not playing in the new stadium?
I think it's minimum 4. which, as you know, I think is a disaster.
I've been big on this too because you need primetime footy in primetime slots down there to convince the eyeballs to get there.
And what are these players going to? Are they going to take a 3-hour bus up and back?
Yeah.
Now, it has been put to me by someone of influence. It's been put to me that they are actually going to fly the players there. Now, I've never heard of people flying from Launceston to Hobart. It must be like an 8-minute flight. Are they actually going to charter a Learjet back and forth? I don't know. It sounds
Wow.
That sounds ridiculous.
That.
That sounds ridiculous to me.
By the time you get there, check in, is it much of a muchness to drive 2.5 hours up the road?
It's a pretty grim road. And the way back after being pumped by 80 points, that would not be fun. So there it is. There is the friendly beer wager between myself and Matthew Richardson. I very much hope I have to pay Richo a slab for the rest of his life. But in the meantime, and so just to be clear, once the stadium starts to once it ends, that is a dead period for the bet. There are no slabs will change hands.
Yeah, okay.
So once it starts, he stops paying me, and I start paying him once it finishes.
All right, we get to track that over the next few weeks, months, maybe years.
That's the Tassie wager. I look forward to sharing the slabs with the people.
Now, it's grand final week. You know how big I am on list constructs and how our clubs get to grand finals and win them. I just want to point out Brisbane's team from the weekend. So they had the 6 youngest players on the field when they beat Collingwood.
3 teenagers.
And they've got a lot of injuries right now that Jack Payne, Lockie Neal didn't play, Eric Hipwood, Tom Duday's out.
Yep.
Who else have we got on that list? I'm just going to go through the injury list for the Lions. They're playing with quite a few injuries. Noah Answorth is a premiership player last year and was really important for them. Lincoln McCarthy would be in their best team.
Would be.
If fit. Same with Kadeen Coleman. So if you go to their team on the weekend, I just want to highlight some of the players who are playing well above what they're being paid right now.
Sure.
Logan Morris, who we've spoken about, he has had a phenomenal season. Watching him in the flesh on the weekend, his ability as a key forward below his knees has to be on the podium in the competition for talls and their ability below the knees. He's something else. Sam Marshall, academy kid last year, first year of the AFL. He's about to play in an AFL grand final. He's playing on a fixed term of, let's call it 160 to 180 grand. You got Ryan Lester, who is playing for chips and he's continuing to play above what he's worth. Darcy Fort has carried the number 1 ruck role for most of the year at the Brisbane Lions, and I hazard a guess he would not be on above AFL average wage right now. Levi Ashcroft and Ty Gallup, also both in their first years of AFL footy. It is a pretty good effort to get to a grand final with that many kids running around in a preliminary final.
Yeah, it helps when you get gifted the Ashcrofts. But yes, unbelievable. Like they've done an extraordinary job.
Yeah.
So that's Brisbane.
And the Cats have got a few as well. So Connor O'Sullivan,
Gun.
initial draft contract. O'Shane Mullen is playing on chips. We've spoken to Ollie Dempsey. He's just signed a good contract, but he's still on his previous contract that he signed when he only played a handful of AFL games. Then you've got Jack Martin, who came across for the 2-year tenure rather than wage, and then Lawson Humphreys as well. So the Cats are going pretty well in that conversation when it comes to players playing above their value. And one of the premiers on the weekend will have a great story to tell about the way they got here.
Yep, and both clubs have had a great record in the last 5-10 years of poaching players from other clubs.
Yep,
turning them into guns. I mean, Geelong, to be honest, are actually quite extraordinary. To be honest, like you think about their most important players, how many of them started their careers somewhere else? Dangerfield, Jeremy Cameron, Bailey Smith. I mean, I know they're great at picking blokes out of the local league, like Tom Stewart and Henry, but their ability to attract players from other clubs
I think
is second to none.
15, 20 years ago, they couldn't get players down there.
Couldn't. And now it's become a hub of how good's life down here. Come live down here. Bailey Smith, another example. Can they do it again with Charlie Curnow?
It's going to be a tough ask.
I don't think they can.
No.
There's a part of me that may be in the fetal position if they do. Because I really love Charlie.
Sam Walsh in 12 months' time?
Why would you say that? Like, Carlton fans have been through enough. Carlton fans have been through enough. Are you? Is that an actual suggestion?
Well, he's a
from
free
you?
agent. in 12
Oh
months.
wow. I mean, seriously, like
You
talking
don't
about.
need draft picks for them.
All right, that might be a good place to finish.
He will be restricted though, so you think with Carlton's cap in 12 months, they should be able to.
And Carlton have such a great record of keeping the players that they want.
Speaking of Geelong, good old birdie tells me in the last couple of weeks that James Warple might have become friends with a few real estate agents down in Geelong.
Stop rage baiting me. Is that what it's called? Rage baiting? One of the Connor, one of our editors from Footy Classified, tried to explain rage baiting to me and said that I would have been a good rage baiter.
Would have been.
or that I am, potentially.
And we didn't speak about Stephen May. So at 34, he's been told to explore his options by the Demons. Where do you think is a good suitor?
I would have thought he's a great fit at the Dogs, but it sounds like they're going down a different route.
At this point, I wouldn't rule it out completely.
He's perfect for the Dogs. Perfect. Because they can win the flag next year.
Yeah, the Dogs need a key back that can allow Lobb and O'Donnell to roam, whereas the Carlton Footy Club going in and getting Buku Karmas makes sense because you've already got the anchor fullback in Wiedering, so Buku can play off as the second or third tall.
May next to Wiedering would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
But Carlton clearly don't think they can win the flag.
Yeah, he's probably only got 12 months left, Steve May, from what we saw this year.
All right, good place to finish. That was our Brownlow edition. People have been asking me, and they've been asking you, Mitch, but what we're going to do with our trade space. So it'll be same as the last couple of years. So we'll have a show next week, straight after the granny.
Yep.
Nice big preview. And then the last 3 days of the trade, we'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And then we've got our live show on the Thursday, which will be the Tradies Awards, which will be in front of a big audience. $10 a ticket. It's at the brewery. Head to the Clubby Sports website or go into the show notes.
Yep.
Thanks, Tradies. We'll see you then.